so we're recording right now, which is great because this will be on replay. So welcome everyone. It is Thursday, April 25th, 2024. We are here for the next episode of the Oscoda Buzz Hub. Tonight we have with us one of our favorite locals, Elena McKenzie. She is the co-owner with her partner in crime, her wife, Jackie McKenzie, and they are the owners of our favorite downtown knick-knack, paddywhack, find something that you never thought you would to the moon and back. So thank you for joining us this evening. We wanted to bring a spotlight because you have a big anniversary coming up. And we're excited to help you celebrate it, as well as hear a little bit more about everything to do with To the Moon and Back, the McKenzie family, and what landed you here in Oscoda, and what you and your wife brought for your vision and your ideas to Oscoda. Because I think what your store represents is mind, body, and soul nourishing. And I would love to just hear more about how you came up with such a dynamic contribution to our community and what makes it tick and how you guys keep thriving and surviving.
That's a lot of things.
Along the way, so don't you worry about it.
I'll figure it out. Okay. So yeah, we've been here we've been to this area for 4.5 years. And then we opened our shop 3 years ago. This May will be 3 years. So we're having our third birthday party because it was really a big pivotal time for us for obvious reasons. But it was also May 2021 when stuff was just starting to open back up after COVID. And that time frame is kind of what the shop morphed from, because we came to this area. We had no real connection. We came here vacationing once and loved it. But then, you just go around Michigan and you're kind of looking around. So we wanted to live on the water because I had a corporate job that was not working anymore and I couldn't handle it anymore. So we decided to look for a place on water. And lo and behold, Lake Huron found us. But in that time frame, when we bought, it was in 2019. So we bought a bunch of cottages to do a retreat center type deal. So that was our first vision coming to this area, was to get me out of the corporate stuff that I was feeling suffocated by and just couldn't handle anymore emotionally, and bringing something new. So I started to train as a yoga teacher, and that felt like that was kind of where I wanted to go to lead retreats. So wanting our next step to be on water, we went on Zillow and just said 7 bathrooms on a water source. And it ended up being Anchorage Retreat Center, which was Anchorage Cottages back then. But I was like, I just need 7 bathrooms and it needs to be on one. That's how we got here. We looked at it and put in our bid that day. There was a bunch of bids and they took it. It was like everything felt very according to a certain plan, like not mine, because I didn't know what was happening. But I was trying to feel my way through things, because my old life, before I found yoga and meditation and things of that nature, was very, very, very stressed all the time. And I needed to figure out how I could move differently in life without kind of the rigidity of the corporate world. So bringing myself to Huron, to us and our family, that kind of led us to, well, maybe Jackie wants to do something different with her life. It was COVID. It was very secluding. We didn't know anybody around here. And she was a nurse through it all. And it was really, really hard on her. So I told her,
hey, imagine.
Yeah, like, you gave me an out. I want to give you an out. Do you want to do something different? Because this is horrifying. like, can you handle this anymore? And she said, no. So I asked her, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? She's like, I really love being with people. And when I did do retail, I loved the people aspect of it. And so I was like, okay, sold. We're going to start looking for places. We kind of looked at Taos, but we wanted it to be here. I think that we saw the potential that, like, there's all of these, a lot of people shirk these kind of empty buildings as being kind of these old tombs that might not look like you could make anything out of it. But what we were seeing was potential. It was like, wow, there's bones. Cool. We can find somewhere. And it felt like everything fell into place. We found this particular location. It was on US 23, perfect location, right in downtown, big enough so we could do yoga, do a bunch of our activities. There's an upstairs where now our new Girl Scout troop is going to be meeting. And like, we had no real idea what we were doing at the beginning. We just knew we wanted to sell things. We wanted to sell stuff, the stuff that we liked. Like, that was legitimately like the vision at first. And then it just ended up where I feel we need to like reach out to the artists in the community. I feel like that's probably something like I don't see art a lot everywhere. So maybe we should do that. And so that is how we got more into consignment and getting local people to bring their stuff, and then we sell it for them. And I thought that was also a perfect place to start. We're like, hey, my customers are also going to be my artisans and my artists. So if they know that we're creating something, they're going to come and they're going to bring their family, and they're going to want us to succeed because they want to succeed. So it just made sense to partner with people that wanted a space to put their beautiful items here. So at the time, there wasn't a lot going on in downtown, and that was slightly nerve-wracking because if we went to Newman Street, it was automatic people were going to be there. Yeah. But, like, we had Hallmark, which was like this pivotal buttress on like this massive area that had so much potential, and they were holding strong, and they were holding it together for the retail around
for 40 years.
Yeah. And it was just like, gosh, they can't be alone.
God love and God bless the Maxwells for sticking with Oscoda and being the place that you could go and you could find, if you needed a sweatshirt, because before you guys came along, and a lot of these other, entrepreneurs like Justine from Just Create, I know you guys collaborate with her on some things. Mm-hmm. And then other stores that they followed, there wasn't a lot out there, and you guys added a lot because I remember when you came in and I was like, wow, this is a cool store. Mm-hmm. Like, how did they even think about coming here? Because we didn't necessarily have that independent artisan vibe. So you guys kind of grassrooted that artisan vibe here.
Well, it was mostly just because we wanted to connect with people. I think that was the main basic idea when it came to me of, okay, I want to get to know people, and I like people who make art are pretty awesome people, and like to be able to help them with who we are just makes sense. So it's like, it's that win-win scenario that, like, the other day, even, we're constantly shifting. So we have some items that we bring in from wholesalers and different companies and things like that. But I would say half of our stuff is from local people that make it. But the other day, I ordered some spoon rings, and I thought that they were gorgeous. And then I heard feedback of saying, oh, is this so-and-so that makes these locally? And I'm like, no, because I didn't know about her. Where is she? Like, I want to meet her. And now she's going to bring some stuff in. And then I can not order from necessarily that company anymore because I have a local source and I know her. I have a relationship with her,
That brings up such a good story that I personally was involved in with you guys, and you openly embraced it. I remember when I went to, I think it was Big B. And, no, it was from here on out last year for the Christmas bazaar or the Christmas vendor thing that Jessica put on. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it right now. But Vincent was there with his 2 books. Mm-hmm. And I remember grabbing the book and I said, hey, can I take this over to the Moon and Back? They carry a ton of local. They're very into the creative scene. I'm not a creative person, so I may not use the right vocabulary, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you guys got the artsy fartsy is what I call it. and I love that. And it's not to be anything but a compliment from someone that can't put a stripe and a salad together to save her life. But if you need me to calculate some mortgage numbers for you, I'm your girl.
We all have gifts.
Yeah, we do have gifts. And that's one of the things that you guys have made very, very aware in our community, that you like to bring about the talents of people, especially for someone like myself that isn't creative. To walk into your store, it's almost overstimulating because it's so much for me, being someone that can't comprehend how to create stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, smelling all the crazy scents for those local soy candles that you have. I think I had the vanilla patchouli, the one with the wood wick.
Wood wick, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I really love that. And I remember I sent you guys a message, you and Jackie, one night and said, hey, I met this local author and he's got some really cool stories. And I picked up a couple of his books. Could I drop one off? And you guys were totally cool with it. And, and then Vincent met you and it opened up a world of connections. So the fact that you embraced that and your goal of coming to the community and opening your store was wanting to make connections, it's cool to see it come to fruition now. You guys are just really an amazing asset.
Well, we tried to, the main reason why this shop is the way it is because we wanted community. We needed community. I think that all of our other events and stuff like that they aren't money makers. They aren't that type of thing. So it's like our shop where we have our items for sale, that keeps my family going. That keeps the lights on. That keeps the money coming so that we can do the events that we're doing otherwise, or yoga, where basically, you can pay $10, but if you don't have anything, I would rather you come anyway, because it's a practice type thing. So it's that community building that I wasn't expecting. Like I wanted it. Like I had a thought or a vision of, man, I really need a community here of open-hearted people that like talking about weird philosophical things and about death and about, all these different books that I've been reading. And so that just came from my want of having a community that understood me, that I could be myself in, and it would just be like, hey, this is an open dialogue so that we can really learn about ourselves through each other and different perspectives, different ways of seeing things. Like our book club is every Wednesday. And I tell people, you don't need to read the book. Like you really don't. Like it doesn't matter.
It's a book club without reading the book.
It doesn't matter because it's like the 1 or 2 people that read it, meaning maybe me, like we'll have a tab and we'll read something. And then it opens up a dialogue that went completely sideways from what I thought it was going to, because everyone that comes is different every time. And so if my uncle comes, he has a certain thing that he's going to talk about. And I know my other friend, when she comes, it's like, okay, we have different ways of seeing things. We have different religions, different belief systems, different processes of understanding. But at the same time, we're open to trying to understand someone else's point of view. And that's kind of what our philosophy as me and Jackie have with our guests or customers when they come to our retreat center, just to say, I want to be open to experiencing life. Like, I don't want to be scared of other people that I don't understand, or that have a different viewpoint or a different political whatever, all of those things. That's kind of what our community is molded into too, because we want to be better. We're bettering ourselves, trying to do the best we possibly can. And using community to try to understand each other better and love each other more.
And I always say, it takes a village, and if we have a lot that do a little, we accomplish more, because we really do. If they're like I could never have put this together to do this, but I always wanted to do kind of like a podcast, but not have to do the whole setup thing, because I don't have all the technical expertise. But I got connected with Davey, and it's kind of what you're talking about with the universe. You engage or meet people, and the yin and yang, I mean, it's ironic, and it works. And it's a wonderful thing, because I like doing these things where we talk to the community, but I have no idea how to do all this stuff that Davey's doing. I have absolutely, everyone that's on, I have absolutely nothing to do with how great the technical stuff is, where Davey brings up flyers and pictures. To the Moon and Back was on an episode of Under the Radar. They had a beautiful segment in Oscoda, and To the Moon and Back was featured among some other businesses here. Additionally, they have expanded, as Davey put up with the calendar, a lot of their classes, and Elena was talking to us. But when you said about what you wanted to have your life look like, yesterday I put a post up on Facebook, and I wanted to read this, and then I want you to tell us about the Moon's birthday party coming up for your anniversary. Mm-hmm. It says, "We all have two lives. The second one starts when you realize we only have one." Hmm. And I thought that was really profound, because like you, I went through COVID and I worked from home anyways. So for me, it didn't really change a lot, other than it really changed a lot on the outside of the world that was kind of crazy, and wanting to experience a better life in a community that embraces, like you said, openness. I think you guys have brought a huge contribution to that, not only with your presence, but with everything else that you embody as far as your store, your values, your vision. And I'm so glad you've reached your 3rd anniversary. So tell us about the birthday party coming up on Sunday, May 5th.
Yep. So for some reason, I feel like time slipped by last year, and we didn't have an anniversary. Our first anniversary, we made hot dogs and stuff and gave it to people. But this time we wanted to do a couple more fun things. We have goodie bags for everybody that comes in, treats. If anyone wants to make a treat and bring it, you can, because community, right? And then we have a tie-dye hoodie that we are just obsessed with right now. I probably pretty much just wear this the way I'm wearing it, and then those hoodies, because it makes me feel bright and happy and shiny when I'm wearing tie-dye. And I'm a very black person, but other black, wearing people, try it. It works.
Do you think we're a hoodie? I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think we're a hoodie-based community compared to other communities around us?
That is a good question. I feel like we're in a bubble here, so I don't know.
I love my hoodie. I always have something with a hood, because you never know when it's going to be cold. The sun could be shining outside, and it's, next thing you know, the wind's whipping up, and the temperature drops 20 degrees. So you need that hoodie.
Yeah,
you do need that hoodie. And I love the fact that you guys have some really cool stuff in your store for hoodies, for T-shirts. I bought the Smokey the Bear one. I completely forgot. Jeff isn't
here. 100th birthday this year, right?
Well, I completely forgot. I bought it for Jeff for Christmas last year, and I completely forgot about it to wrap it. So now we're going to have Smokey's birthday party, so I'm going to give it to him for that.
See, look, it was perfect timing.
It is. I thought it was a great, when I found it, I was like, oh, man. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. So it's going to be in the store, outside in the front, or in the back? Is it going to just be all over?
In the store. It's 3 hours. It's our Sunday. But just to come and celebrate with us, say hello. We're blessed to have so many local regular people that come, and where they're incense people, or they always come and get their sage or their tea from us. And we wanted to really express our gratitude, because we didn't know what we were doing when we started. I had experience of, running a grocery store. So it was, I had certain sets of skills that I thought would be fine, but I can't say how amazed I am at how this place has changed me. I mean, we came from Detroit. So we came from the east side, Mount Clemens, East Detroit, all that stuff. So there's so many people down there. It's hard to connect. It's just so much easier to go in your bubble and not look and talk to people. And so when we're here, it's such a difference now that we've integrated ourselves into this place where everywhere I go, I know someone. And
yes,
it's beautiful because I want to know people. That's the difference. I used to be the type that was like, please leave me alone. Put me in a corner. Don't look at me. Why is this random stranger trying to talk to me? Like, no, I want to have that experience, because that's why the small town works so well, because you feel comforted by the regular people you see, and you're able to say, oh, I just saw, Manuela walking over there, and blah, 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 and be able to say, oh, if I need something, I can go to Tate and Heather's going to give it to me. Like, there's so many, the web that we're a part of as a downtown business at first it didn't feel like it was very there when we started. And right now it feels like so much engagement is happening. Everyone is doing events. Everyone is trying to do their very own special, unique thing. And the tea, and like all of these people that are coming and putting their energy into it, like I feel it. So I have so much hope for this summer. And that's why I want to celebrate, because who knows when a business starts, if it's going to stay. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And we have withstood the winters. We now know, as a seasonal entity, that, the winter's going to hit, and you're going to have a certain amount, and you're going to be, expecting and getting ready for the spring and thinking of new things. So really moving up here has made me more connected to nature, more connected to the way that my body cycles through things. And I think that's why a lot of people love coming to a town like this, because it does slow down. You do have to have connections with physical human people. And it's just a beautiful thing. So long story short, I wanted to celebrate with our people. So
I love that. And you're absolutely right, because I came from the Wayne County and then also moved to Livingston County, and so many more people, but you felt less connected. You ran your errands and you did your stuff and you mowed your grass. But here, coming down to a parade is just magical, even though you're like, all right, it's not a Macy's Day Parade, but it's a kick-ass parade.
But half of the people in it.
Yeah,
so
you're waving to your friends. Yeah.
It's like I'm going like this the whole time. Like, hey, that's my friend. Hey, that's my friend. It's awesome.
But you brought up a really good instance, and I wanted you to share, because a little bit more about what happens during this one event that you guys throw, because you have one coming up, I think, Tuesday. And I don't know if you're doing it at the beach, but I remember last fall, and I had always seen your posts about the full moon ceremony. And I just was like, I don't know, like, is this for me? Are we going to have to like do some weird stuff? Like, I'm like a numbers girl, like, again, artsy fartsy creative. I don't know what I'm doing. And Manuela talked me into coming to that one I came to. And I got to tell you, I felt so good when I went home. And I tell everybody about it, and I need to mark it down, and I need to make a better effort, because I think back to that feeling when you were saying about connecting with nature. You guided us through everything from, watching the moon rise, to doing that chanting, to feel comfortable about what you personally, if you wanted to share some of your personal goals. Like I, at that time, was trying to find joy. I know what joy is, but I was trying to find it. And it was such a cool experience walking the beach and finding your little stick and kind of going through that. Like I'm not a person that can tell you, oh, you should do this because these are the benefits, because I just don't have that. I didn't have that, I should say, ability to kind of feel those things until someone showed me what was possible. Mm-hmm. And during that full moon ceremony, I think it's Tuesday, right, that you have the next full moon ceremony?
No, you passed it. It was this.
Oh, did I miss it?
No.
All right. Well, anyways, okay, May.
Yeah, you didn't notice the sky was all lit up? No.
I know, right? But no, we're gonna be doing it in the next May. We do it every month. In this winter time, we've had to be inside, but I'm super hopeful that in May we'll be able to go on the beach again.
Yeah. Well, if people haven't checked it out, and even if you don't want to do everything in it, I embraced it, because the way that and to hear that you were prior in your career working at a grocery store, and then having thought back to the experience I had last year, I think it was September we did it, or October, one of those two, and we were wearing hoodies, and I think there was like 12 or 13 of us out there. It was a really cool transition to hear your story and then think back to like how you handled going through that ceremony and all the things that you put in it to leave me with such amazing feelings when I got home that night. And I carried that with me as a way to like grab peace, or in my case, it was joy. I found that joy that night. Like I felt so good. Like I just felt happiness and joy that I got to experience that.
Well, from my experience, now a lot of this that we're doing is just me putting on an event, like, okay, this ceremony, and feeling it out. Now, I usually have kind of a set thought in my head, but every circle, every group of people that we have at something completely dictates what I do. And before, when I was feeling kind of unconfident in my capabilities, I would have to have like, okay, we're going to use the sticks. We're going to write what we want to let go, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But I know that I'm at my best when I can just feel a group and see, okay, where do we need to go from here? And it sounds strange, but it's sort of like you feel the energy of a group when you walk.
Yeah, it really worked.
Yeah. And so it's like there was a lot of people there that specific time. And that's why it was so powerful. And that moon, like the actual visual of that moon was so dramatic.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
I literally didn't have to do anything else. But just like, let's just look at that. That's amazing. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. But from my experience of holding these types of, sacred circle, meditative kind of groups, it's changed my life in every way, because now I'm more confident in being able to see past my own ego stuff most of the time. At least when I'm like leading, right? And just be in the moment with them and with us. So we become an us. So everybody's coming in from different places. You don't know how or why they came. You have no idea sometimes. New people that have been here for a while, but it's like they all come together, and in the sharing of anything, like just anything, even slight emotion showing on a face, you feel connection. You feel like you can relate, because everybody's in a circle and they're all equal, and they're all doing what they're supposed to be doing by just holding space for each other for whatever needs to happen. So that's really kind of what my events are like, where I have a set
I'm a testament.
And it just kind of.
I'm a testament. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, I'm just not, I'm not that girl usually. And it's interesting that that was my experience. You know, I love it. And sometimes, you know, you don't have any idea what you're doing and getting into, and it ends up being one of the best experiences possible. I know you guys also have a lot of the Western medicine opportunities with, like, I've bought sage at your store. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I lit it and went around the house and I opened windows and I had mental clarity to say, I just wanted to enter good energy and let bad energy escape. I don't know. I was in a funky mood and I just thought, I'm going to try it. And it was in your store. And I thought, well, I might as well. But, you know, you also have like Reiki healing. You have, don't you have some different yogas that you can talk a little bit about the mind, body, soul healing?
Yeah. So what we're trying to do in the shop now, because we're kind of always evolving. So what the community needs, what I'm feeling pulled towards, what Jackie's feeling pulled towards, that kind of thing. But now we have sage and candles and things of that nature to use them as tools, to even the crystals, especially the crystals. So if somebody walks into my store and they'll be like, hey, I've heard sage does something. What does it do? And I can kind of talk them through ideas. Now, if something hits and you want to do it, like, oh, that sounds good. Perfect. If something I say is like, oh, that doesn't sound great, then please don't do it. So it ends up being this way of having a connection again with a customer to be able to say, hey, I know there's a lot going on. Like you said, it's kind of overstimulating sometimes because there's just a lot to look at here. But to be able to have that communication of being able to guide someone to, okay, well, if you want to do sage, yeah, it's about, you know, releasing something out of your space or whatever. So you did exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, it felt cool to do it too.
So it's like, I can give what I know of, but I don't know everything. And it's really fun to have these like conversations with people that just have no concept of what's going on, but they've heard that it's beneficial. So that kind of leads into Reiki. So a lot of people don't really know what it is. They've heard of energy healing, no real idea about it. Actual Western medicine is bringing it into their sphere now. In hospitals, certain hospitals have Reiki like practitioners doing things and aromatherapies and stuff like that. So they're seeing in science the benefits of working with our energy. And then also leads to our yoga, which the way that I do yoga now, and again, it's constantly evolving because every teacher is different. I am the type that we have two basic classes. We have a slow flow class and a yin class. So the slow flow is really getting into your breath and into your body. Now, I feel like most of my day, I'm in my head above my body most of the time, unless I stub my toe and I'm like, oh crap, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. You know, so I have so much going on in my own personal life that like, there's so many balls that I have to keep floating that it's really hard to get into my body. So if I want to stay balanced, yoga is pivotal for me because that's that 1 hour I get to be led by someone. Now I'm even being led in how I'm leading because I'm feeling the energy of the people in the room. I'm trying to kind of, again, close down my own ego self and just kind of feel from my body what's next. What is the next thing? Maybe bending this way, then we opposite, you know, do the opposite kind of thing. So it's more getting into that meditative, quiet space that is your heart, and you're able to just nurture yourself in that hour. And if you want to lay on your mat the whole entire time, I'll give you a blanket because that can sometimes be the best. Like I did that. I did that with my friend Maria. She comes and helps us sometimes in the summer.
Yeah.
And she was doing the best things. I could feel it. She was doing like, I would love it if it was a different day, but it was a rough emotional day for me. And so I literally was just laying in child's pose for probably most of that entire thing. And she just allowed it. Like some days you just need to just stop moving.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes being
yoga
still
helped
is
me.
good.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me
But
about
yeah.
the dog yoga, and then I want to hear a little bit about the Girl Scouts, because I want to make sure when this replays and anyone that's joining us, we have about 9 people on with us. I want to make sure that everyone recognizes about the opportunity, if they or someone they know, for getting in with your Girl Scout troop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about doggy yoga first.
Yeah, doggy yoga.
So I was talking to my friend Robin Savage, who is the librarian, and she is really connected with Alpena Humane Society. She does a lot of volunteer work for them, fosters for them. I could go on eons about how amazing Robin Savage is. But anyway.
She is amazing. And she's our librarian, our amazing librarian.
And so much more. But anyway,
well, yeah.
So she was talking about that, like, oh, doggy yoga, puppy yoga kind of came up. And I'd never done that. I would be like, wow, if it was puppies, plural, that's an energy. Like if when you're in yoga, it'd be a big energy because, they're all over the place probably. But it ended up where we kind of, instead of thinking puppy route, with Alpena Humane Society, there's so many amazing dogs that have been at that shelter for a long period of time. So Robin tries to pick the dog that's been there for a long time to get exposure so that when we put it on social media, people will be like, oh my gosh, Smokey's so cute. He is so adorable. And I need him in my life, and really that's part of it, of actually getting people to know that there are these beautiful, gorgeous dogs just waiting for like the perfect home for them.
Yeah.
But then the other part.
And Smokey's still available.
What?
Let's make sure everyone knows Smokey's still available.
Yes.
I think he's 6. He's a male. He's neutered. He's super friendly, but he wants to be the prince of his castle. So he doesn't want to have any furry little brothers or sisters in the dog or feline category.
But he's great with kids, because my daughter.
Yeah, he's great with kids. I mean, look at him with Deb right there. I've seen him. I've gone over to the shelter and seen him. And Paul Massine, I believe it is, takes him for some amazing walks. He loves roast beef and cheddar.
Yeah.
That's like one of his favorites is roast beef and cheddar. And he likes swims and long walks on country roads, and he would be the perfect companion. So anyways, I digress. Back to dog yoga.
Yeah. So the one thing is the exposure with social media and everything for the dogs. And then anything that, all the proceeds, we ask for $10, but if you want to give 20, if you want to give whatever you want to give to it, we write a check to Alpena. We don't take any of the offerings with that. And really what has changed my life with this dog yoga is that these dogs come in and we settle down into, probably easy seated and start to kind of focus on the breath and focus. And so he's feeling our energy changing to calm, right? Because at first it's exciting. We're getting into a room. Ooh, I got to smell everything. But then everybody just calms down. And Smokey, especially when he came in and we just kind of settled in, his like panting completely stopped. And he was like in the zone with us, and he would come over to each person. And I told everyone, like, if you're in a position and he comes over to you, please stop and just be with him. Like, he's coming to you as your teacher, as your, like, nurture him, comfort him, and get comfort from him, because dogs have such unconditional love.
Oh, they do.
It's just so easy to love them.
I want to win the lotto and have a sanctuary.
That would be great.
If you could get the lady that does the readings to whip up 5 numbers in a Powerball, I'd be real appreciative.
Speaking,
I promise it's all going to dogs.
Well, you brought her up. Sorry. Well, dogs.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing. But Debbie Edwards, so she is our resident psychic medium. We have been trying to get her in our shop for the entire time we've been here. She actually started as one of our artists because she makes her own tarot decks, but she didn't have the space or the time or whatever. It just wasn't the right time for her to be in our shop. But now she is here every Friday and Saturday. So she does tarot psychic readings. So it's 15 minutes, half hour, an hour. And then she also does mediumship. And she is the real deal. I didn't know how I felt about psychics for a long time because of all of the ooey gooey ones that is probably not true. Like
you mean Miss Cleo?
Yeah, I've heard. I watched that documentary, so yeah. But she's amazing, and she is another resource that we have here, along with Lisa DePaul, who is our Reiki master, who does our tuning forks, our crystal therapy, shamanic sessions. She's just that go-to person of like, hey, I feel something weird. Can you help me in my energy department? So we're super, super excited to have these two women that are healers that are able to be a part of our team here at To the Moon and Back. And like I was saying before, I'm just so excited for this summer because it feels like it's just this building up.
It is.
Everyone is going to have this amazing, explosive summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fabulous summer. Hey, if anyone that is online with us has questions, there is a little chat in the bottom right of your screen. I don't know where it's at if you're on your phone, but you can click that and it opens it up. If you guys have any questions while we're talking, doesn't have to be about the subject matter personally that we're on, but anything with regards to yoga or, any of the topics, feel free to throw in a question and we're happy to throw it up there because there's so much obviously to cover. And I want to get to the Girl Scouts. Mm-hmm. You guys are taking on, not that being business owners, mothers and resort owner is enough, but now you want to take on running a Girl Scout troop. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So super excited about it. I was a Girl Scout from daisies all the way to my senior year of high school. My mother was my troop leader, and I never really realized until I had my own daughter that I wanted to be a Girl Scout leader. But it was like, oh my gosh, thinking back to all the memories that I've had, it really makes sense in the grand scheme of what I'm doing now, what we're trying to create here, is that the way that the daisies work is they get in a circle. They say, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. They squeeze themselves. They have this code of ethics with the Girl Scout promise. And it just makes so much sense because I'm kind of doing that with all of our community building stuff.
Yeah, we're
creating a circle of inclusive, like feeling that you can be vulnerable. And so I'm hoping that I'm creating for my daughter and these girls a place where they can be themselves, where they can make mistakes and still, just laugh it off with their friends. I gained most of my leadership skills from being a Girl Scout, and that space where I can be myself and be goofy and weird and not have to worry about boys and, all that kind of like weird stuff when you're a kid. Yeah. It was just, it was one of my safe havens. And so I'm really excited to start doing that. So it's for kindergarten girls. They don't have to be from Richardson. It's just, they're kind of our hub. But, so it's at Mondays at 4:00 every week. We're going to go into the summer because we just started. And right. I feel like we need to kind of get our girls to get to know each other. And there's so many cool activities to do around here that like, we're going to go, blueberry picking and all this kind of stuff when it comes around. Yeah. So we have so many beautiful, beautiful things to do that we barely have to go out of town to do anything. So I'm really excited about that. We're just growing. But if anybody is interested in it, please give us a shout. And we want to make this an amazing experience for the leaders and for the girls. So,
well, and speaking of shout out, Jessica from Troop 50414 is on. She joined us.
Nice.
And she's like, I talked with Justine and Jessica, and they wanted to come on tonight. Justine got sidetracked with, she got saddled with bedtime routine, I guess, tonight is what she messaged me. But Jessica, I talked to both of them and talking about the leadership skills. I mean, obviously, we've seen a lot of the things that Troop 504141 does.
They've been
they're,
amazing.
Yeah, and they're an older troop, obviously not kindergartners, and I think that's brilliant that you're starting them at that young age, and all that it gives to them. And we get to see as they grow older. I was a Girl Scout. I was a Brownie too, but I was a Girl Scout, and my mom was our Brownie, one of the co-leaders when I was in Brownies, and that propelled me into Girl Scouts. But one of the things we see is how, like you said, it helps build community with those leadership and embracing and being involved. And one of the things that the troop is doing, Troop 50414 is doing this coming Thursday of next week, which I believe that is May 2nd. Jessica, you can unmute, but I know they're doing a huge cleanup at Children's Park with their entire troop, and they're doing it as a community event. So it just goes to show all these initiatives that start and how they embrace. But I just wanted to let you know and give you the shout out because they were on here to support you.
Yes, wonderful to have another troop in town. Definitely if you guys need anything, reach out. We were new in the beginning, and now we're going on 5 years, as crazy as it seems.
Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, Kelly, you've got it up. We are doing this community cleanup event with our Girl Scout troop. We petitioned the Oscoda Township, and they've given us the green light, and we've got the township's approval. We've also got DPW who's going to be assisting as well, and then multiple different community members who are going to help us clean up this this gem that we have, the Oscoda Children's Park. So just sprucing it up, getting it cleaned up. It's one of the favorites amongst our girls. And so, teaching the girls and instilling those life opportunities of giving back and, investing in the community. So we're excited. Yeah. We're excited for next week.
I think that's great. And I think it's great that you guys are, that you jumped on to support about them introducing their troop on the Buzz Hub tonight for anyone that wanted to get in. It just shows that everyone in a small community, and Elena, you touched on this, and then obviously I'm just going to kind of open it up to anyone that might have any information about upcoming things, and Davey's got some stuff about the Buzz Hub he wants to go over, but it really does connect community, and that's why it's so important to recognize when you have somebody or a business or the people that make the business, like in this case with you and Jackie and all the other members that you have with, Debbie and Lisa DePaul and all of the programming that you've put in and the collaborations with the Humane Society, the book club. I know you've done a ton of different get-togethers when you've had other things during the winter. I remember you guys tried a couple new things. Like I said, I went to the moon, the full moon ceremony, and it was really cool. So thank you for taking the time to share your story and tell us about how To the Moon and Back and Oscoda were so lucky to come together. It really is a wonderful opportunity that you've offered to the community.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm just glad, like I said, to be able to do this. I think every day that I kind of wake up, I'm like, wow, I get to do this for a living. I think it's pretty insane if I'm thinking about it, So it's everything, just happened for a reason. We were called here to this specific place, and I really believe that. And the first couple years were hard. They were scary. We didn't know what to predict, but I would never have predicted that we would be in this spot. And it's amazing to be able to see how we are growing and then how the community is growing, how, when we started, there wasn't a lot going on, and now there's different boutiques and there's all this beautiful energy that's happening. And so we just want to be a part of that as any possible way we can, because that is where our heart, where the community's heart lies, is when everybody's working together, collaborating, not necessarily competing, but working for each other and saying, hey, everyone is so unique that they're bringing something that no one else would bring. And as somebody who I am, like, this is me, this is who I am. This space is an extension.
Yeah, it's really remarkable how you've pulled it together. And I'm just so glad that we had this time together. And I mean, we've gone through just so much with regards to, the shop and the community and everything that you brought to it. And I know Davey's got some stuff coming up that he wanted to go over. We try and keep it right to 8:00. So I want to let you guys know that we're going to just jump on. Davey's going to jump on to go over some of the upcoming events. If you haven't subscribed, he's going to tell you about the Buzz Hub. It is can go on your phone, and he's created all of it, and it's magical. I don't know another town that has their own app.
Cheers
so
to Davey.
congratulations, Davey, for
Thanks.
having the brilliance to come up with something like this. So tell us what's going on and how do they get to the app and all that good stuff.
Well, hello, everybody. All you have to just go to oscodabuzzhub.com, and I'm showing you right now, and it'll ask you to pop that up, and it'll also ask you to download. So just go ahead and put that on your phone, and then that way you'll be connected to all the apps and information happening around town. I just wanted to talk about a few of the events coming up. Actually, let me show you the homepage. That's a lot easier. If anybody wants their flyers on the homepage here, all they have to do is just send either click on the link here and fill out the form, or you can just send us an email with all the information for your events or whatever. And I just wanted to say or ask people to check all the events out on here, because we've got a lot that need volunteers for them, like the Touch a Truck that's coming up. I know Jessica needs a lot of volunteers, and I know she's asking for sponsors. We've also got the Bigfoot Festival coming up later in the year. I think they need help with that. And that's basically really all I wanted to say. Is I just wanted to, ask everybody to think about volunteering, because that's the only way that these events happen. You've got everybody putting them on, but they don't have the bodies and the hands to make everything work. Well, a lot of times that's just how it happens. Anyway, I'm not really a good speaker.
Oh, you do great, Davey. Oh my God.
Yeah, come on. I get all flustered. No, anyway, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say, really. And I really appreciate everybody contributing, and as far as we've come, and everybody actually using the app. We're getting we've got pretty good traffic on the app still, and people are still downloading it. So we're doing our best to get the word out there, and make sure that everybody has it in their hands. So when tourists come into town, our events are going to be like super busy. So that's really all I wanted to say. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything that we didn't talk about or know about that we kind of went over? You can unmute yourself and jump in. Looks like sunset's arriving, so you can see half the sun.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, let me get down here. Yeah, so at this point, you guys, we are going to sign off. We also are going to put this on a replay. We do have an Oscoda Buzz Hub YouTube channel. If you can go out and subscribe to it, anytime we put these up there, there'll be notifications. And we would love for you, especially to bring awareness to maybe communities like you mentioned, Elena, that you guys were from downstate originally. Share it to your personal feed. So maybe people that don't have that direct connection to Oscoda, it would be something that would give them exposure, not only for your shop, but also for the Buzz Hub, because we do want to make sure that people understand the value that Oscoda has to offer. We have an amazing community, like you said. We have amazing natural resources. And right now we're getting ready to have an amazing sunset because you can see it coming in my window and I can see it coming in Elena's window. So at this point, thank you, everyone. We appreciate the fact that you came on and joined us for this session of the Buzz Hub. Thank you, Davey, for being the technical genius with all of the stuff that you put up, and for everyone jumping on. Please share this to your personal news feeds in Facebook and Instagram or wherever else it can go. And we appreciate it, and have a beautiful night.
Thank
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.